The Oklahoma City Thunder are in the middle of a perfect rebuild. They have somehow managed in a span of just a few seasons to turn their franchise around completely, and they now look to have by far the brightest future in the entire league. Really quickly though, I want to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. When you're dealing with an injury, the last thing that you want is a confusing, difficult process that's going to take a ton of time out of your day. At Morgan & Morgan, they want to make things as easy on you as possible. With just a few clicks on your phone, you can get in contact with them and have a lawyer review your case. And the best part is that there's no upfront cost. Everything that they do for you, talking on the phone, everything is free unless you win your case. And millions of people trust them every year all across the country. And you can start a claim with the largest injury law firm in 8 clicks or less. It's so easy. You can start your claim with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/sportinglogically by dialing pound 529. That information is in the description for you and in the pinned comment as well. And thank you again to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. Now, as of right now, as the recording this video, Oklahoma City is one of the best teams in the West. They almost made the playoffs last year. They started this season extremely well. And when you consider everything that they have going for them, this is arguably the greatest rebuild in the history of the NBA. And I struggle to even call it a rebuild at this point because normally teams that are rebuilding aren't good. Oklahoma City is a good basketball team right now, and they have all these assets moving forward into the future. And they have so many assets that it's actually kind of hard to figure out where they should go from here, what their next step should be, because they have SGA, who's one of the best guards in the conference. Chet has been incredible as a rookie. Giddey is an up-and-coming player. Wing Jalen Williams is awesome. And everybody that plays big minutes for this team is 25 years old or younger. They've got young role players. They've got guys that fit in. They've got guys in the front court, back court. They've got all these picks, and it's hard to even figure out what the direction should be. And I think that the thing that has changed really everything for Oklahoma City to begin this season is obviously the continued growth of the young guys, but the immediate impact that Chet Holmgren has had on this team has been unbelievable. His ability defensively, the way that he can space the floor, he is the perfect fit in Oklahoma City, not only in terms of upside, but in terms of his immediate impact, his youth, his spacing, all this stuff combined together. If you could build a perfect big in a lab for what Oklahoma City would want moving forward into the future as they continue to grow and build this team, Chet Holmgren is that guy, and he has been that guy to begin this season. Now, this isn't exactly the perfect team. I'm not trying to say that they're going to win the title this year, but when you think about everything they have going for them, it is unbelievable where Oklahoma City is. And it makes me start to think about what's the next step, right? Because they are still building. They do still have all of these assets. They do still have so much room to grow. And you have to figure out what you want the final form of your team to look like. And to me, I would be at least starting to think about the possibility of trading away someone like Josh Giddey to get a bit of a cleaner fit on this Oklahoma City team. Like, they do have smaller needs. They need a little bit more spacing. They need a better wing defender. They need more, bulk and size in the front court, someone that can play well alongside Chet. That's still something that they're looking for. But when you think about all of the young guys, you're trying to rank them in terms of who are we prioritizing most. To me, it's SGA, Wing Jalen Williams, Chet, and then Josh Giddey is fourth, maybe even lower than that potentially, because his fit with this team is just so strange. He doesn't space the floor well. He doesn't play particularly well alongside SGA, but he's good and he's valuable to other teams. And I don't know if I would be doing it right now because of how well they're playing at the beginning of the season, but if I'm OKC and I'm thinking about what the future is going to look like, and I have to pick someone to not keep, I think Josh Giddey is the guy that I would look to trade over the next year or 2 years. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, this team is going to get extremely expensive extremely quickly. SGA is already on a new deal. Wing Jalen Williams is going to get a big deal. Chet is going to get a big deal once these guys' rookie contracts are over. And with the way that the league is structured now, with the new CBA, with the second apron, with all these things, you can't then, with already having those 3 guys, you can't then also pay Josh Giddey if he doesn't fit with the group, if he's not a player that actually makes sense with your roster. The days of just paying guys and figuring it out later, those days are over. It's too prohibitive in terms of team building to have that much expense on your roster if guys aren't fitting well together. And the other reason I would potentially look to trade Josh Giddey is because, yes, they do still have other issues on this team, but they don't need to trade him for anything in particular. It's actually difficult when you look around the league to think about who should they trade Giddey for? What should be the piece that they should be adding here? Like, yes, maybe they need a little bit more perimeter offense. They need a better wing defender. They need a better, potentially 2-way guy on the wing. Yes, all of those things are true, but those guys are hard to trade for. But still, if you're going to pick a piece to trade, I think Giddey would be the guy. And really the craziest part of all this is if you just reset all of Oklahoma City's draft picks, right? If you just took all of them away and said you only have your own picks, they're still in an incredible situation because Giddey is an asset. They have all these young players. They have role players that fit. But then also they have multiple first-round picks in each of the next couple of drafts to where they might not even need to trade Josh Giddey. They could just use these picks and continue to add talent. They can trade them away. They can trade up in a given draft. And there's so much margin for error. There has never been a rebuild like this where you can screw it up multiple times over the next handful of seasons and still be a title contender because you have all these picks, because you have all of these young players in Oklahoma City. It's something we have never seen before. And so as a result, there's multiple avenues here. There's multiple paths towards eventual title contention for Oklahoma City. They're so good right now that they could just add some other pieces, and over the next couple of seasons, as their guys kind of really grow into their prime, they're probably going to be a conference finals or a finals contender even without making a move. You could trade Giddey and try and get someone that fits better on the roster. You could use the picks to try and get somebody that fits better on the roster and just decide to pay Giddey anyway and pay whoever you trade for. Or you could just keep drafting guys, right? Like one of the real options for you is you could just re-sign the big four, right? Giddey, Wing Jalen Williams, Chet, SGA, and then kind of like what they did with Kason Wallace this year, where it's like, let's just pick guys in the lottery. We're still gonna have lottery picks. We can trade up if we want to, and let's try and get a guy like Chet, like Jalen Williams, that is that impactful on a rookie deal. And then that way we don't have to worry about the expense of the fifth guy. We can keep the main four and then try and develop someone on their rookie deal to still be extremely impactful. That is a real possibility for Oklahoma City and part of what makes this situation so incredible. But there's even more to it, right? Because the thing that I think people are really misunderstanding about what Oklahoma City has done the last couple of seasons is they're viewed as this like tanking team, right? This team that's not trying to win basketball games. If Oklahoma City really tried and wanted to, they could have been much better each of the last two seasons. In the beginning of the year, each of the last 2 years, they were like a 500 team. And then the second half of the year, they decided to tank. They wanted to get better draft positioning. But when they actually played their guys, the veterans on their team, when SGA was playing, they were still like an average team. And part of that is because the roster was good, but also the coach is good. Like they have the coach figured out. They've been good for a couple of seasons. They just haven't fully gone for it. And now it looks like they're starting to. And to end up here at this spot, yes, it was mostly because of an incredible trade, an incredible situation where they were able to trade away Paul George and get SGA and all this other stuff. It'll never happen again. There will never be a situation like that where a team is able to leverage a non-MVP caliber player in Paul George for as much as the as the Thunder got in exchange. It'll never happen again. But the situation that they are in, just a few seasons after having a team that didn't have this kind of ceiling, the Russell Westbrook, Paul George Thunder did not have a championship level ceiling. They could barely win a playoff series or even contend to win a playoff series. And to go from that and just a few seasons later have the brightest future in the league, the best rebuild the league has ever seen, have all these pieces and have so much margin for error, it is one of the most incredible front office feats we have ever seen. And I can't wait to see how they're going to try and put the cherry on top of all of this, right? I can't wait to see how they're going to prioritize the young guys, who they're going to keep. Are they going to keep all of them? What they're going to do with the picks? Because the front office that has done all this, that has built this team over the last couple of seasons, now has to prove that they can also put all the pieces together to try and win a title, because that is a realistic possibility over the next handful of seasons for Oklahoma City. You have gone from expectations of, hey, it would be cool to make the playoffs over the next couple of years, to we have nailed the draft each of the last couple of seasons, and now all of a sudden we're looking at possible title contention in the next couple of years, and I can't wait to see how they try and get there.